Which John Lennon made to a London columnist more than 3 months ago has been quoted and represented entirely out of context. Lennon is deeply interested in religion and was at the time having serious talks with Maureen Cleave, who is both a friend of the Beatles and a representative for the London Evening Standard. The talks were concerning religion. What he said and meant was that he was astonished that in the last 50 years the Church in England, and therefore Christ, had suffered a decline in interest. He did not mean to boast about the Beatles' fame. He meant to point out that the Beatles' effect appeared to be, to him, a more immediate one upon certainly the younger generation. The article, which was in depth, was highly complimentary to Lennon as a person and was understood by him and myself to be exclusive to the Evening Standard. It was not anticipated that it would be displayed out of context and in such a manner as it was in an American teenage magazine. And in these circumstances, John is deeply concerned and regrets that people with certain religious beliefs should have been offended in any way whatsoever.
I've spoken to many of the promoters this morning, and when I leave here I have a meeting with several of the promoters who are not anxious that any of the concerts should be cancelled at all. Actually, if any of the promoters were so concerned and it was their wish that a concert should be cancelled, I wouldn't in fact stand in their way. As a matter of fact,
the Memphis concert, which is nearest to the place where this broke out, apparently sold more tickets yesterday than they had done up until that date.
In een poging de schade te beperken besluit John Lennon in opdracht van zijn manager tot een openbaar excuus op een persconferentie.
It was a long time ago, but I just didn't mean what everybody thinks I meant, you know. I'm not anti-Christ or anti-religion or anti-God.
I said television is more popular than Jesus. I might have got away with it. I pointed out that fact in reference to England, that we meant more to kids than Jesus did, or religion at that time. I wasn't knocking it or putting it down, I was just saying it as a fact. And it is true, especially more for England than here. You know, but I'm not saying that we're better or greater or comparing us with Jesus Christ as a person or God as a thing or whatever it is. You know, I just said what I said and it was wrong or was taken wrong, and now it's all this to raise flagging popularity. I don't know. You can think of stunts. We don't do stunts. I think we've done one in our lives that's been completely a stunt.
But anyway, that's not the kind of thing that's going.
I am, yes, you know, even though it's not, I never meant what people think I meant by it. I'm still sorry I opened my mouth.
That the Beatles are more popular than Christ?
When I was talking about it, it was very close and intimate with this person that I know who happens to be a reporter, and I was using expressions on things that I just read and derived about Christianity, only I was saying it in the simplest form that I know, which is the natural way I talk. More popular than Jesus and so and so and so and so. But she took them, and people that know me took them exactly as it was, because they know that's how I talk, you know.
Can we talk about your music a little bit? You've gone a long way from I Want to Hold Your Hand to Eleanor Rigby. And the raga and so on. What direction are you trying to move your music?
The thing, we're just trying to move it in a forward direction. And this is the point, you know, this is why we're getting in all these messes with saying things. Because, you know, we're just trying to move forward. And people seem to be trying to just sort of hold us back and not want us to say anything that's vaguely sort of, you know, inflammatory. I mean, we won't, if people don't want that, you know, then we won't do it. We'll sort of just do it privately. But I think it's better for everyone if we're just honest about the whole thing.
How are you going to respond after tonight? You're going to try and explain yourself every time somebody asks, or what?
Well, I'll try if they keep asking me, you know. I'll go on and on trying until I get it straight, you know. Because I just don't like to be sort of thought of as what I'm really not, you know. It's nothing like me. The sort of the thing they're putting around is nothing to do with me as a person, you know.
What about you? What was your reaction to what he said and the reaction to what he said?
Well, I mocked the context it was meant was the fact that Christianity is declining, and everybody knows about that. And that was the fact that was trying to be made.
Did they come up and start physically threatening you?
Yeah, go on, you say
We got to the airport, and our road managers had a lot of trouble trying to get the equipment in because the escalator's been turned off and things. So we got there and we got put into the transit lounge. And then we got pushed around from one corner of the lounge to another, you know.
You treat like ordinary passenger, passenger, they're saying. There's an ordinary passenger, he doesn't get kicked, does he?
And so they started knocking over our road managers and things, and everyone was falling all over the place.
They started worrying you when the road manager got knocked over.
Yeah, and I swear there was 30 of them.
What do you say there were? Well, I saw 5 in sort of outfits, you know, that were sort of doing it, the actual kicking and booing and shouting.
Did you get kicked in?
No, I was very delicate and moved every time they touched me.
Would you go to Manila again, George?
Oh, no, I didn't even want to go that time.
Me too.
No, because we'd heard that it was a terrible place anyway, and when we got there, it was proved.
John, what exactly happened at Manila Airport?
We got kicked and pushed about by some monkeys, and were very frightened.
Well, how frightened were you, George?
Terrified, I'd say. Yeah, it was, you know, it was very bad that there was about 5 sort of real big, sort of funny-looking fellas with guns and all the rest of the gear.
Who did all the kicking.
Yeah, and, you know, they just had arranged, you know, it was so obvious they'd arranged to give us the worst time possible, you know, before we arrived at the airport. So we just got hustled about and just, you know, I just kept dodging these people because they were the ones trying to cause the trouble.
Yeah, just about the 5 of them, because the others weren't bothering.
Did you, in fact, have to carry your own luggage and make your own way across the airport?
Only our hand baggage, you know. Our road managers take the big luggage.
But they made them
they turn the escalator off on them, and they have to carry them off the escalator.
All the amplifiers.
That's how intelligent they are.
How many people were involved in this demonstration?
Well, I thought there was 30. I've been telling everyone 30, and George said there was 5.
There was about 6 fellows that were sort of like a little army to beat us up, and there was about another 10 at the back of the crowd of ordinary people going boo, boo, and you look around to see who's booing, there's just little kids sort of smiling, about 18 and all these sort of fellas at the back like Gestapo going boo, boo, saying it was a public demonstration.
It was one of those places where you sort of knew they were waiting for a fight, you know, and they were pushing you, and if you'd done anything, they would have...
And that's all right.
Yeah. And apart from the Philippines, did you enjoy the trip?
Great. Yeah. It was you know, great tour, except for that one morning, in fact. Yeah,
Japan's fantastic, very nice.
And Delhi was great.
Yeah, great people in Japan. You know, just nearly everybody we met.
They take note of Manila in the war or something.
Would you play the Philippines again?
Don't even land there, no plane's going to go through there with me on. Don't even fly over it.
Quiet. Quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet.
The miniskirts, and do you think they'll go higher?
Well, I like miniskirts. I think they're fine. The thing is, you know, at the moment it's miniskirts, but in Victorian times, people were ashamed to show their ankles, you know. It's just got a bit higher now. It may go even higher.
George?
Yes?
George?
Yes?
Do you have a cousin named Maggie?
No.
You don't? I'm Paula Reiner from Brooklyn, and I'd like to know what you think of the boys that followed you from the airport last night. Yeah,
Did you notice
the one?
2 years ago, I traveled with you as a group, and this time around you seem to be much more quiet, much more restrained. Do you think you're getting older, or is the press getting to you?
I think we're probably getting cut and send it back.
Each year.
Question. Right here, we have a question.
I've got older.
There appear to be a much smaller number of fans outside the hotel, and the concert tomorrow night at Shea Stadium is far below a sellout. How do you feel about
Very rich.
not being quite as popular as you were?
It doesn't matter.
Make the same money?
Well, I don't know. The thing is, you know, do you expect us just to go on forever, you know, making more and more money, making more and more
And figures bigger and bigger. You can't just go
And
on
if
forever.
certain people have decided they don't like the statement, then, you know, we don't
We'd like to get rid of
we'd
them.
rather who like us and really like us rather than pretend to like us because we're the in thing.
Do you want cokes?
Sorry? Probably
Not,
did. A
you
bit.
know, first house Memphis, 200 didn't turn up that were meant to, or something like that. Second house was wild, you know, and we thought that would be the place that would sort of show any sort of real doubt about what was going on.
The thing is, it doesn't
Sorry, Johnny.
It's all right,
matter though, because the only thing that we've ever based our success on, compared with other people who are doing the same thing, and compared with other people who have recently done the same thing as we've done, this tour has outsold their tours. So, you know, I mean, yeah, we're unsuccessful, you know. I don't believe it. The actual numbers of people recepting, or whatever the word is bigger. So I hear.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, Brian knows, you know.
We're playing to more people on this trip than we have on the last two, so, you know.
When you arrived at the airport and there were only 9 girls waiting to meet you, were you disappointed, and do you think that's a reflection of a loss of popularity in this country?
Yeah, we're real brought down.
Really disappointed. 3 o'clock in the morning. They expected millions. Sorry?
Do any of you have plans to record on your own?
English voice.
We do at home. We might.
In fact, we have done, I think. Well, Eleanor Rigby was Paul on his own, and
we were just drinking tea.
No, but the thing, what I'm trying to get at is, do you have any plans, like, for anything definite at all?
Not for separate recording careers, if that's what you mean.
Story from the Vatican saying that the official Vatican newspaper defended your statement. Have you seen it? I've seen a similar version to what you're talking about in a paper. Well, if it makes other people feel better, it'll make me feel better. Well, it's not over nothing now, because it is something. There weren't as many people upset as I was led to believe. I'm not so seriously upset.
Do you figure that this is one of the reasons you haven't been drawing as well on this trip?
Nothing to do with it.
Pardon?
I don't think it's anything to do with it. I don't think we're drawing any less than we expected, whether this had started or not.
Yes.
Not really.
Yeah.
Well, that is one of the most stupid versions of it. Because I mean, that's not a publicity stunt at all. You don't need that publicity. Not like that.
Can I add to that article was originally published in England last March, so it was nothing to do with the, pre-tour.
At the Beatles press conference, the questioning was friendly. The young people here were fan club officials and school magazine reporters. The only man to raise the religious issue was shouted down. All the same, the Beatles had been worried about their Memphis date. In their dressing room, I talked to them about it.
What difference has all this row made to this tour, do you think? Any at all? Paul?
I don't think it's made much difference. It's made it more hectic. It's made all the press conferences mean a bit more. People said to us, last time we came, all our answers were a bit flippant. And they said, why isn't it this time? Well, the thing is, the questions are a bit more serious this time. It hasn't affected any of the bookings. The bookings have been, the people coming to the concerts have been the same, except for the first show in Memphis, which was a bit down, but so what?
The disc jockey, Tommy Charles, who started this row off, has said that he won't play your records until you've grown up a little. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't mind if he never plays them again.
You see, this is the thing, everyone seems to think that when they hear us say things like this, that we're so childish, you can't say things like that unless you're a silly little child. But and if he was grown up, he wouldn't have done the thing, because he only did it for a stunt anyway.
So, I mean, who's he to say about growing up? Who is he?
Who is this guy?
Who is he?
Just who?
Apart from that, it's great.
Having a swinging tour?
Do you feel that Americans are out to get you, that this is all developing into something of a witch hunt?
No, we thought it might be that kind of thing. I think a lot of people in England did, because there's this thing about, you know, when America gets violent and gets very hung up on a thing, it tends to have this sort of Ku Klux Klan thing around it.
It seems to me you've always been successful because you've been outspoken and direct and forthright and all this sort of thing. Does it seem a bit hard to you that people are now knocking you for this very thing?
Yes, Richard. It seems very hard. It seems hard, you know, free speech.
But is it possible just to say what you think all the time? What about 14-year-old teenagers who think you're absolutely marvellous and can't bear to be heard?
See, we're not, when we say anything like that, we don't say it as older people seem to think to be offensive. We mean it helpfully, you know, and if it's wrong, what we say, okay, it's wrong, and people can say, you know, you're wrong about that one. But in many cases, we believe it's right, you know, we're quite serious about it.
But do you mind being asked questions, for example, in America, people keep asking you questions about Vietnam. Does this seem useful?
Well, I don't know, you know, if you can say that war's no good and a few people believe you, then it may be good, I don't know. You can't say it too much, though, that's the trouble.
It seems a bit silly to be in America and for none of them to mention Vietnam as if nothing was happening.
But why should they ask you about it? You're successful entertainer.
That is the thing. You know.
Because Americans always ask showbiz people what they think about it. So do the British, you know. Showbiz, you know how it is. But I mean, you've just got to, you can't just keep quiet about anything that's going on in the world unless you're a monk. Sorry, monks, I didn't mean it. I meant actually. It doesn't matter about people not liking our records or not liking the way we look or what we say. You know, they're entitled to not like us. And we're entitled not to have anything to do with them if we don't want to, or not to regard them. You know, we've all got our rights, you know. Harold.
Hi, what's your name?
Suzanne.
And where are you from?
Wandsworth.
Now tell me the truth. Are you really a Beatles fan, or are you here because it's the right thing to do?
I love the Beatles.
I bet there's a group you like better now.
No, I don't like any group better than the Beatles.
Honestly, aren't the Beatles on their way out?
I don't think so. I think they're still strong.
Tell me, what do you feel when you hear the Beatles singing?
Oh, I feel like I'm going to drop dead.
What thoughts run through your mind?
I wish I could have one of them to myself.
Which one?
Oh, he's the only one who isn't married.
Would you settle for one of the others?
Yeah.
Do you think you might do some screaming tonight?
I'm going to lose my voice, I know I am, because I'm going to screech and cry so loud.
Could you give us a sample?
Please?
Yeah. All right, hold on. Hello. What's your name?
Karen.
Where are you from?
North Belmore, Long Island.
And were you at the Beatles concert last year?
No, I didn't have a chance to get there.
This is your first. Are you excited?
Yes, very.
Tell me, what do you think of when you see the Beatles or hear them?
I go all out. I can't help myself. I love them.
Do you have a favorite?
Yes, John.
Why?
I just love them.
Honestly,
Greatest.
do you think the Beatles are out of style?
Never. They'll never go out of style.
Tell me the truth now. Which group do you like better than the Beatles?
The Beatles all the time. I love them.
Okay, thank you. All right, now where's the boys? You're pretty brave to be out here with all these girls.
Well, I'm just glad I'm not one of the Beatles.
Don't you think this whole Beatle craze is sort of silly and strictly for girls?
No, not really. I think they're very talented musicians and talented songwriters and excellent showmen.
You like them?
Yeah.
How long do you think they can last?
As long as they keep playing, they'll last. And writing songs and making pictures.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, now. Hello, what's your name?
Fran.
Where are you from, Fran?
Brooklyn, Coney Island section.
Tell me, when you hear a Beatles record, what thoughts run through your mind?
Beauty, sheer beauty. The sounds are so mellow and sweet, and there's Paul, and there's John, and there's Ringo, and there's George. They're all singing. They're my second favorite group, really.
Oh, really? What are your favorites?
The Animals, but they're breaking up. I always loved them, but the Beatles really started me off. And, you know, the Beatles bring joy into the world. They're happiness. We forget our cares when we hear Beatle records. They're fun.
Tell me this. How long do you think the Beatles can last?
Well, I wish they'd last forever. They could bring happiness to everybody.
But they're pretty much on their way out, aren't they?
I don't really think so. Look at this. Tell me they're on their way out, and look at this.
A lot of empty seats here tonight.
Well, majority is filled. Look.
Okay, thanks, Brown.
Most everybody's down here, even if they don't belong here.
All right. Hi, what's your name and where are you from?
Cheryl Campanelli, New High Park.
Do you like the Beatles?
I love them.
Are you out here just because your friends came or because you really like them?
Because I really like them. I love them.
Have all their records?
Yep, almost.
What sort of feeling do you get when you listen to them?
I don't know. It's a great feeling. I don't know.
You think you're going to scream much tonight?
Yep,
Do you scream when you listen to the records at home?
sometimes.
What do you suppose one of your screams might sound like? Well, it looks like the bloom is off the Beatles. Last year, not an empty seat in Shea Stadium. This year, thousands, perhaps 15 or 20,000 empty seats in this arena that holds 56,000. Which means that not every 15-year-old in this area woke up this morning, had breakfast, put on a special outfit, and came out to Shea Stadium. But the thousands that did more than made up in enthusiasm for their lack of numbers. Standing, milling around, sporting signs, placards, buttons, banners, mostly just screaming. What many consider to be that Liverpool pain may be mainly on the wane, but one thing is sure. If the Beatles' reign is ending, it is ending not with a whimper, but with a roar. This is Leonard Harris, WCBS TV News at Shea Stadium.
Certainly do, Fred. How's it going?
How are you?
You have to get close? No. Derek
I don't know. Hollywood. I don't know, honestly. No.
People, you have 10 minutes, so don't push. Over, please. The very last pictures for the people in the front.
Want them to rotate? Yes, I do.
Could I have a rotation of photographers, please? All you people in the front get back, let the people in the back up. Sir, it's time to rotate towards the back, please. Young lady. Okay.
And can we please have constant sound level on these microphones? We're not getting it at the moment. They're dying in between. Can you keep the yeah, that's it. Can you keep it all the mics constantly at this level, please?
Nothing I can do about it. Gentlemen, everybody in front here, let's start rotating now. Let's start rotating. Yeah. Whatever you rotate back to the front.
Where are the Beatles? Well, somebody's given us an idea and he's working on the script. And if the script's nice, then we may do it.
One question we like in Hollywood, we'd like to know how you compare movie working to, say, the concert tour or recording sessions. You know, amount of work and stuff like that.
Well, we don't compare it much, you know.
Would you rather play the Hollywood Bowl again than Dodger Stadium?
We don't really mind.
Maybe we can start another controversy here. One of your countrymen was here yesterday or the day before he returned to England, or on his arrival in England. He said he thought American women were out of style for not wearing miniskirts, and that because they didn't wear miniskirts, their legs were ugly. I'd like to ask you what you think about American women's legs.
Well, if they don't wear miniskirts, how does he know their legs are ugly?
You know, on your album cover that was banned here, first of all, whose idea was it? And second of all, what was it supposed to mean from your standpoint?
What's he say?
Can you say that again?
You know the album cover that was banned here? You know, the one with the dolls and the meat? Whose idea was it? And
Yeah,
what,
the photographers who took it.
and what was it supposed... I mean, was there any meaning behind it?
John, why did you decide to make How I Won the War, minus the other Beatles?
Because he just asked me, you know, and I just said yes. And it was just like that.
Do you consider that now, since you've been in the United States here for almost a week, that this religious issue is answered once and for all? Would you clarify and repeat the answer that you gave in Chicago?
I can't repeat it again because I don't know what I said, you know.
Well, would you clarify the remarks that were attributed to you?
You tell me what you think I meant, and I'll tell you whether I agree or...
Well, some of the remarks attributed to you in some of the newspapers, the press here, said that concerning the remark that you made comparing the relative popularity of the Beatles with Jesus Christ and that the Beatles were more popular. This created quite a controversy and a furor in this country, as you are obviously aware.
Do you know that, John? You created it.
Now, would you clarify the remark?
Well, I've clarified it about 800 times, you know. I could have said TV or something else, you know, and that's as clear as it can be. I just used Beatles because I know about them a bit more than TV. I could have said any number of things. Wouldn't have got as much publicity, though.
My question is directed at all of you. Do you think this controversy has hurt your careers or has helped you professionally? Obviously, you're quite aware of it.
It hasn't helped or hindered it, I don't think. I think most sensible people took it for what it was. And it was only the bigots that took it up and thought it was, you know, on their side. They thought, haha, here's something to get them for. But when they read it, they saw that, you know, there was nothing wrong with it, really. It's just that they thought that by us saying, by John saying that we were more popular than Jesus, they thought, you know, he's bound to be arrogant. And did you see the fellow on telly last night? He said it. Tonight Show.
I'd just like to simplify things a little by suggesting that the two gentlemen with the roving mics select the questioners rather than me, because they can move around faster. So if you want to ask a question, please draw the attention of one of the two roving microphone men.
My question concerns money. I was wondering if you still have an arrangement with the U.S. Internal Revenue Department to pay your taxes to England through them. Another part of the question is, how much money have you grossed in your current U.S. tour, and is it true that you lost?
We don't know.
Money's got nothing
we don't
to
know
do with
about
us.
that. We don't do the money side of it, you know. Brian does that.
And we don't particularly worry about it.
Tell us what we get in the end.
The tax thing.
We pay tax and things, but we don't know how much or how much we've made or anything, you know, because if we were going to worry about that, we'd be nervous wrecks by now.
I'd like to direct this question to Messrs. Lennon and McCartney. In a recent article, Time magazine put down pop music, and they referred to Day Tripper as being about a prostitute, and Norwegian Wood as being about a lesbian. Now, I just wanted to know what your intent was when you wrote it, and what your feeling is about the Time magazine criticism of the music that is being written today.
We were just trying to write songs about prostitutes and lesbians, that's all.
Do you have any plans?
Cut.
Do you have any plans
You can't use it on
work
the air.
separately in the future?
Can you repeat that question, please?
Will you be working separately in the future? Or together?
It's all together, probably.
Together? John Lennon, aren't you doing the picture alone?
Yeah, but I mean, that's only in the holiday bit, you know.
I see.
In between people.
Fred Paul from KASK. First of all, I'd like to say hi to you all again. It's really good to see you. And
Go on, Fred.
I'd like to ask a question that you've never been asked before. What are you going to do when the bubble bursts?
Fred. You know, that's a personal in-joke. He used to ask it at every press conference we went to keep the party going.
Do you think we'll have another tour again next year?
Could be, Fred. Could be. Brian does that.
Thank you very much.
He does a lot of it,
Fred.
outside in Hollywood tonight, you had to arrive in an armored truck, and the truck was swarmed by adoring fans. What is the situation wherever you go? Do you ever have an opportunity to walk out in the street without being recognized, or can you walk into a theater to see a movie by yourself?
If you go and the lights are down, you can go in.
We can do that in England. It's easier in England than it is here. And it's mainly because we know England better.
It'd also be easier to do it if we were on tour, you know. Because we're on tour, people know where we are. That's why we have a crowd.
Oh,
yes, I waved
Paul? Paul?
Yeah. Sorry.
Many of the top artists and musicians in the pop field today have said that the Beatles have been a major influence in their music. Are there any other artists who have an important influence on you, the music you create?
Oh yes, nearly everyone. You know, we pinch as much from other people as they pinch from us. You know.
Is it possible to raise the level on both of the roving microphones, please?
The boys are a little deaf.
Ringo. Ringo. Oh.
Hi.
Ringo, do you carry wall pictures of your baby with you?
No.
No? Why?
I don't carry photos of anything, you know.
Thank you.
You can remember.
You know.
May I ask about the song Eleanor Rigby? What was the motivation or inspiration for that?
Two queers.
John, did you ever...
Two barrow boys.
Oh, this is getting disgusting. What?
John, did you ever meet Cass for the Mamas and Papas?
Yes, and she's great, and I'm seeing her tonight.
Good.
Yes, she's good.
Have you ever trained or used Beatle doubles as decoys?
No. We tried to get Brian Epstein to do it. He wouldn't do it.
Ringo, one question. How much did you contribute to What Goes On? And are you contributing to any other Lennon-McCartney compositions?
About 5 words to What Goes On, and I haven't done a thing since.
I'd like to address this to John and Paul. You write a lot of stuff that other people steal from you and also purchase from you in different arrangements, Ella Fitzgerald and a lot of these Boston Pops and stuff like that. When you listen to this on the radio or records and stuff, how do you feel about them using your pieces and changing them around to suit their styles?
Depends how they do it, you know.
The thing is, they don't steal it.
No, I know that.
Well, you just said they did.
Well, sometimes.
Okay. No, I mean, you know, once we've done a song and it's published, anyone can do it. So, you know, whether we like it or not depends on whether they've done it to our taste. You know,
well, then let's ask it this way. Who do you think does it the best, the Beatles songs?
Us.
Who?
Us. Oh.
For those of us that have followed your career from the early days of Liverpool and Hamburg, and the pride in you being awarded the MBE, and the dismay at the unwarranted adverse publicity of late, the question is, individually, what has been your most memorable occasions, and what has been the most disappointing?
Well, you know, there's so many.
I think Manila was the most disappointing.
Yeah. And the most exciting yet to come.
Gentlemen,
maybe the most disappointing.
Gentlemen, there was quite a laugh when you went on the stock market with your stock. How is your stock doing?
Fine, thank you.
Well, it went down, but it's coming up again.
It's gone down.
It's the same as any other stock, you know.
It goes down every time, and the LPs drop out. They all think they're buying bits of records.
All of you. Leonard Bernstein likes your music. How do you like Leonard Bernstein?
Very good. He's, you know, great.
One of the greatest.
I'd like to direct this question to George Harrison, if I may.
What should you address?
George, before you left England, you made a statement that you were going now to America to be beaten up by Americans. Do you mean to say in so many words that you feel that the American fan is more a hostile fan?
No, not at all.
Or a more enthusiastic?
Actually, I said that when we arrived back from Manila. They said, what are you going to do next? And I said, we're going to rest up before we go and get beaten up over there. Merely beaten up is just... So really, we just get sort of shoved around a bit. jostled around in cars and planes, so, you know, that's all it is.
Well, do you think that's more an enthusiastic fan than a hostile fan, would you say?
I think there's definitely more enthusiastic fans.
But if anyone's going to beat us up, it's not the fans, is it?
Yeah, the fan thing, I think they proved it themselves, you know, after this. We found out that there are a lot of fans who are great. And all the ones we lost, I think, we don't really mind anyway. Because if they can't make up their minds, who needs them?
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the image scrimmage, and I'll direct this to anybody. How has your image changed since '63? Is it a little more? Is it the same?
An image is how you see us, so you know you can only answer that.
You're the only one that knows.
Who's that? Oh,
you.
Oh, well, no, I want to get your opinion. Is it a little tarnished now? Is it more realistic, or what would you say it is? I know, I have my opinion,
We haven't
but...
got any tags for our opinion.
We can't tell you our image, you know. We can only... Our image is what we read in the newspapers, and that's the same as you read, you know. I mean, we know our real image, which is nothing like our image.
Forget it.
And what I meant to say was...
I like, take 2 bricks. Who is the young man with the lengthy haircut to your right rear?
Right
rear. It's good old Dave, isn't it?
Where is he?
Who is it? Dave from the Burn, a mate of ours. Your hoy mateys.
Shy.
Do you ever plan to record in the United States, and why haven't you yet?
We tried, actually, but it was a financial matter. Bit of trouble over that one. No, we tried, but
internal politics.
Hush, hush.
Dice.
No comment.
Mr. Lennon, is it true you're planning to give up music for a career in the field of comparative religion?
No. Is that another of the jokes going on?
I'm sure you've all heard of the many Beatle burnings and Beatle bonfires. And I was wondering, do you think American girls are fickle?
All girls are fickle.
Well, the photos we saw of them were a sort of middle-aged DJs and 12-year-olds burning a pile of LP covers.
This question is directed to Paul and John. You have written quite a few numbers for Peter and Gordon, and I understand they don't like it because they think that it's you writing the song that makes it popular. Do you plan to write any more songs for them?
You know, if we write songs for, they ask us to write songs for them if we do it. I mean, they don't mind it. They like it, but it's... People come up and say, we see you just getting in on the Lennon-McCartney bandwagon. That's why they did that one with our names not on it, woman. Because everyone sort of thinks that's the reason they get hits. It's not true, really.
Gentlemen, what do you think would happen to you four if you came to an appearance without the armored truck and without police?
We'd get in a lot easier.
We wouldn't make it. We couldn't do it.
It depends, you know. Sometimes we could have easily made it much better without the armored truck. But today, probably we wouldn't have.
You think you'd be physically harmed?
Oh, yeah, probably.
What do you think?
Yes, I think so.
Could be.
Gentlemen, the New York Times Magazine of Sunday, July 3, carried an article by Maureen Cleave in which she quotes the Beatles, not by name, as saying, show business is an extension of the Jewish religion. Would you mind amplifying that?
I said that to her as well. No comment.
Oh. Come on, John. Tell me what you mean.
I mean, you can read into it what you like, you know. It's just a little overstatement. It's not very serious, you know.
Paul, are you getting married? And if so, to who?
Yeah, probably getting married, yes. But I mean, I don't know when. I've got no plans and things.
I want to make these the last 3 questions.
John, I was wondering, under what condition did you write "in his own right"? That sort of wild, those kicky words. I mean, how did you, piece them together?
Oh, I don't know.
And do you have any more books coming?
Yes, and I can't answer that. You know, it's just the way it happened.
Any more books coming?
I didn't think that, how can I do this?
Sit down and get like an author.
Just like an author.
John.
I hope so, you know.
John?
I don't know, it'll never be the same.
I understand there's a suit pending against the Beatles by Peter Best, who claims to be a former member of the Beatles. Is that true? Was he once a former?
I think he's had a few, but we don't bother with those.
Is this the last question? Are all of your news conferences like this?
No.
Well,
that's not the last
I'm talking about all of the reporters or would-be reporters or semi-reporters that show up. Are you besieged by these kind of people throughout the tours that you travel here in the United States?
You can't always tell the would-be's from the real thing. So
Is it this way when you travel in Europe?
Yes.
But what's wrong with the crowd?
Nothing. I'm just wondering if you have this many reporters everywhere you go.
Not always. But
some of them are just onlookers.
Tomorrow.
This is the last question. Thank you.
All right, tomorrow never comes. It's the last cut on the second side, right?
Tomorrow never knows.
Tomorrow never knows. Thank you. Could you give me a vague idea of some of the tape manipulation you use when your voice drops into the track, John? Is that sung backwards by any chance and then recorded forward?
No, it's not sung backwards. It's just recorded pretty straight. You know, there's nothing really. There's tape loops on it, which are a bit different, and the words are from the Tibetan Book of the Dead. So there, fairly nearly.
Oh well. Right, now can we do the presentation that we were going to do slightly earlier from the three present stake branding irons, which were made specially for each of the Beatles. Is anyone clicking them? Would you like to do it facing over that way as far as you can?
Okay. Only turn around so they can get it.
Would you like to face the photographers over there, please?
Get up here with us then. Come on, is anybody telling them?
Can we have all the photographers across the front then, please?
Oh yeah.
Paul, you want to brand George's coat like you're sticking in one. George. Thank you. Surely.
The presentation by Capitol Records is, as I said earlier, the effective finale for the press conference, so far as everyone except the television crews are concerned. May I ask for your cooperation now in clearing the room of everyone except
the interviewer,
George, this is for Where the Action Is, the Dick Clark program.
Where the Action Is.
Dick Clark was going to be here in person today, but unfortunately he wasn't able to attend. So we'll just get a few questions. I'll later dub my voice out. Right over here to the left.
Yeah, okay.
Right. First of all, could you give us some ideas what you like to do in the spare time? When you get any time, what do you like to do?
Just relax. Nothing more. Play music and relax and eat.
What type of music do you prefer?
Sort of honky-tonk and country and western and Congo rhythms.
Out of all the country and western American stars, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, Buddy Holly. He was pretty good.
What do you think of the #1 country and western singer in this country, Buck Owens?
Oh yeah, Ringo likes him a lot, yeah. Dick Clark.
Out of all the sections of the country you've been in, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I like California, naturally, because it's nice and sunny, sunny and hot and swimming pool. Very nice.
What about the girls here in Los Angeles? Do you think that they're a little bit different, or possibly from other sections of the country?
I haven't seen any girls in Los Angeles. Only at a distance.
If you had a night off tonight and had an opportunity to go anywhere you would like to go here in Los Angeles, where do you think you would attend?
I don't know. I think I'd go to Hollywood Bowl.
Out of all the American entertainers, if you had a favorite, who would you like to see tonight, if it were possible, at the Hollywood Bowl?
Glenn Barry.
Thank you very much.
That's fine.
Is that the name of a group? The Worthy Actioners?
Where the Action Is.
Oh, I thought you meant like
program.
worthy, like worthy of something. The
No.
The Worthy Actioners.
Can I get just a few?
Oh, certainly.
What time of day do you prefer to write your tunes?
What time of day?
Yes.
It's certainly daytime anyway, or nighttime. It's certainly something like that. Just any time, really. Any time. Right.